So apparently, Stephen A. Smith made some comments about Ayesha Curry. You know, Twitter bae, Instagram bae, black men everywhere bae, Ayesha Curry. Of course, it was about her Twitter comments saying how she thought the NBA was rigged since they ejected her husband in Game 6. And in true Stephen A. Smith fashion, he caused a shitstorm on why he disagreed. Now, he said if LeBron's wife had said the exact same thing, he would be catching hell right now. Pretty valid point. He also said Ayesha wasn't screaming rig whenever Steph won MVP. Also true. But what most people got from his comments is that Ayesha Curry is better seen, not heard, and she should be more like LeBron's wife and not bring any attention to herself and just remain lovely and gorgeous and beautiful. Now, with Stephen A's history of telling women how to conduct themselves and the fact that he's very eloquent, so you can't just chalk this up as a bad choice of words, I'd say the shitstorm at his front door is well deserved. I mean, he used words like wonderful, lovely, and gorgeous to describe Ayesha Curry, who I see as intelligent, outspoken, articulate, and entrepreneurial. You don't get a pass for that. But let me say this, the same way I believe she should be allowed to have her opinion is the same way I believe she should be able to face consequences for when she expresses it the wrong way at the wrong time, just like the rest of us. Male or female, whenever your spouse represents a brand, you also indirectly represent that same brand. Remember, you came together as one, so if they can't say something, you can't either. You know what, for a second, let's just flip the script. Let's say Michelle Obama gets on Twitter and says, George Bush caused 9/11. They will want Barack impeached yesterday. Now, is that because women aren't allowed to have an opinion? No, she can have any opinion she wants. But the moment she goes public with it, she attaches it not only to her husband, but to the organization that her husband represents. So while I fucks with Ayesha Curry, I must say the backlash that she received, particularly for the way that she went about expressing her thoughts, it makes sense. But it's 2016. You're going to get backlash for anything. But she should know that better than anybody. Feminists were just at her throat for saying she wants to stay covered up for her husband. Now they riding for her since she clapped back at Stephen A. Smith. It's funny how the pendulum swings. And then you had dudes saying how they needed them in Ayesha Curry until they found out she's also human and makes mistakes. But shit, any of us would be lucky to have a woman ride for us the way she rides for Steph. But as a brother, I must say, Stephen A's views do not represent mine. I mean, I do think Ayesha's thoughts were probably better left off Twitter, but when it comes to women topics, his thoughts are better left off everything.